It says we must stand in defense until we can open the gate. Well, what gate are they talking about? I believe they're talking about the Stargate, to get from wherever they were to get out of this war. There was a war going on. Again, that second pyramid war I told you about, it was a global war. It wasn't only global, it was interplanetary as well, because it went to the moon and also to Mars. But that's probably going to be another podcast. But the evidence of it is available in scientific data. But this K2 megalith, this gigantic crystal, it has something to do with activating the portal at this Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia, which at some point they were defending it and trying to thwart some people from getting access to it until they can get it activated so they can walk through themselves. Pretty interesting stuff. And this is well documented, the K2 megalith gigantic crystal. So CERN, in my opinion, is researching and learning about technologies that already existed. Again, we're just rediscovering everything. When you go to CERN, right outside the front door is this gigantic picture of this Indian god that is standing inside of a portal, walking through. So I think they kind of knew what they were going to be doing when they started this whole building and started this whole project, but they just kind of kept it low key to the general public, and they only released tidbits of information as to what's going on. There was something interesting before we go on. There was a field trip of sorts where they let the tour to let people come in and look around. And as one person was looking around, they saw these gigantic clear panels. They don't know what material they were made out of. And I have a picture of them leaning up against the side of a part of the machine with these hieroglyphs on them. So they sent these hieroglyphs out. Everyone, including I've sent the hieroglyphs out. Nobody can decipher these hieroglyphs. Nobody knows what in the world these are, what they mean, where they came from, who wrote them, what writing, what ancient culture are they linked to. Nobody knows. Massive, giant, clear plates leaning up against the machine. I think there were 4 of them, if I remember correctly. Pretty interesting. I just thought that was a weird thing that, to happen there. But they have at the front door, gigantic portal, a representation of a portal with one of these ancient Indian gods walking through it.
What do you think they're doing with these mini black holes that you think that they're creating?
All experiments.
Have they documented this?
Yeah, they have. They have, yeah. People were trying to stop them from doing it because it was gonna destroy the planet and everything else, but they just kept working anyway. They didn't care. But they are just, in my opinion, learning about these creation of portals, learning how to create stable wormholes, just all experimenting, just trying to figure out what type of energy can we inject into one of these holes that will stabilize it, maybe even expand it. And where do they lead? Where do they go? Like when we go through them, where will we end up? Maybe they're sending small probes through or things through to take a look. Maybe they're sending nano probes into them. Who knows?
What do you think about this? Are you for this? You against this? What do you think?
This type of research without complete oversight, to me, is scary stuff, man. I mean, you don't even know what can come through. Like, I do believe in life in other worlds and also life in even other dimensions. We know that based on theoretical physicists like Michio Kaku and many other well-respected physicists, that we're living in a universe based on 11 dimensions. They theorized based on the mathematics that without 11 dimensions, this universe would collapse. Okay?
Okay, so can you... I have a tough time wrapping my head around different dimensions as well. Yeah. I've talked to a couple different people. They broke it down fairly well for me. I would like to hear you break down what is a dimension? Yeah.
Well, dimension is a realm that exists at a different frequency. So right now we're in the 3rd dimension. We only can control the 1st and the 2nd. All right. The 1st dimension is a line. The 2nd dimension is connected lines. And because we're in the 3rd dimension, we're like the God over the 2nd and the 1st. We can control and manipulate those dimensions from the outside. If people were living in those dimensions, like 1-dimensional people or 2-dimensional people, they would be at complete awe of what our capabilities were because they first of all, they wouldn't be able to see us as a 3rd-dimensional being. All they would see is the manipulation of their environment. And they would wonder what's going on. All right, so that's the kind of power we would have. Now, extrapolate 4th dimension. The 4th dimension used to be said it was time. It's not time. That's just a hypothesis that Einstein was trying to correlate time to the 3rd. The 4th dimension is a tesseract, a 4th-dimensional hypercube. From the 4th dimension and all the way up, things change completely. So we're in the 3rd. Somebody in the 4th dimension, an entity,